Hello there, welcome to our page, and today we're talking about being a business advisor. So I'm Craig Connolly, and today we've got Philip Wicks, who's going to do a little introduction shortly, and then we're going to ask Phil some questions. So Phil, maybe to start off with introducing yourself and what your role is at BSP Advisory.
Sure, Craig. So I am one of two directors of BSP Advisory. There's myself and Rob Dorey, and I have been an advisor myself because I work, as well as helping to run the firm, I also work with a group of around 18 clients at the moment, and probably about 70% of those I've been working with for over 5 years. So I've been involved in this industry for about what would it be now? About 12 years, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so can you sort of walk us through, because I know you had a corporate life once, so can you walk us through your journey from your corporate life to becoming one of the top business advisors in Australasia at one stage?
Well, I guess it was corporate, but also before then it was sort of larger SMEs, mainly in the dairy industry. Within that, a lot of my focus was in sales and branding and different markets, and it was one of those sort of things. I got to a stage, I guess, in my life where I thought, I sort of wanted to have a little bit more freedom. I guess I was never really that great at having bosses, and there are things that I wanted to do sometimes in the roles that I had where I felt like it was a bit restrictive. And I'd thought about business advisory probably about 10 years previous to becoming a business advisor. And then I thought, right, this is something that I want to do. I was overseas at the time and made the decision I'm going to come back to New Zealand, be my own boss, and start as life as a business advisor. And I've never really looked back. So it was a great decision.
When you first started, you actually bought a region from a franchise, I believe, and you actually won Business Advisor of the Year in the first year. Was that right?
My first full year. Yeah.
Full year,
I mean, I didn't, it cost a fair bit because I bought the master franchise and it had really great systems, but I didn't buy any clients or anything like that. I had to start from scratch in that respect. But once I got going relatively quickly. And yes, I did the first full year. I was the New Zealand Advisor of the Year, and the following year I was the Australasian one. So I couldn't have probably asked for a better start in doing something that was I guess totally different from what I've been used to.
So what sort of strategies did you use? When you said you started with no clients, what strategies did you use when you first started to get clients?
I mean, in those days, unlike what we do at BSP, because I think we offer advisors a fair bit of support around that, it was pretty much left up to yourself, and it was something that I really had to sort of focus on. Is okay, I know I can be a good advisor to businesses, but I've got to get the businesses first to do that. And so I did things. I joined a networking group, which worked out really well. And I also did quite a bit of networking with various people within that group, which brought leads in. I did a little bit of telemarketing. And then as things sort of started to progress, I started getting quite a bit of referral work. And so, that was sort of how I got started. It was a combination. It was a little bit like the spokes on a wheel. There was a combination of a few various things, which I think I was doing all at the same time. And so one of the things I was very good at was if I got a lead, I could convert it really easily. So I was very good at, once I had a meeting with a business owner, I would generally get to work with that business owner. And that was probably because I was pretty confident in what I could do, and people see that, I guess. But that was a big part of my success, was that I didn't have to go out and talk to hundreds of people to begin with to get my clients. I would
Mm.
generally, if I had an appointment with 4 businesses, I'd end up working with 3 of them.
Okay. Well, this sort of leads me into my next question of what do you consider are the best qualities of a business advisor?
Yeah, that's a good question, because obviously no 2 advisors are the same. But I guess there's a few common things that a business, somebody wanting to get in this industry, needs to have. Obviously, they have to have good business acumen. They have to obviously understand business. So they need a background whether that background's been a corporate background or a senior management background or a CEO or a CFO, or they need to have that part of it right, because they're going to be advising businesses what to do. I think they also need to be well-rounded, good people. I think it's easy, it seems like a basic thing to say, but I say that because they also need to have empathy. They need to have a high emotional IQ, and I guess that's because business owners are very isolated, and they often will be under stressful situations. They can't really talk to anybody about that. And the sounding board process is incredibly strong, both from a business point of view, but also in regards to being a sounding board to some of those more personal things, emotional things. And advisors who are good can do both of those usually do very well. I mean, that support, providing support and confidence to a business owner is very important. I think business owners themselves underestimate just how powerful that sounding board process is, because a lot of small businesses get stuck on the operational side of their business, and what you're trying to do is to get them to think a little bit more strategically. Take their head, lift their head up a little bit, be able to look forward, and I think part of that process is sort of revolved around that isolation, but that's where that sounding board process can really make a huge difference.
So what do you enjoy the most about being a business advisor?
I think it's the best job on the planet. I really do. I really do enjoy it. I really love it, and I feel very fortunate to be doing something I love so much. I really, and I've been lucky enough to generally have really great clients, great team of people I work with in BSP. Really good business partner in Rob, and also our advisors. We're a pretty close bunch, and they're a great bunch of people. But I've also been very lucky with, I say lucky, sometimes it feels almost like divine intervention that I've had such great clients, but I guess it's just the way it's gone. But it has been very enjoyable. But the thing I really get from it is seeing their success. It's incredibly rewarding when you can do a job you love, and you can make an impact on people's lives, and so that has a reward all in itself.
That's great. Yes, I've just recently returned from Australia, working with one of your colleagues, customers over there, and I think it's a bit of a common theme amongst the BSP people. They tend to attract really good clients because, well, maybe because they're such nice people. Maybe, who knows? Yeah. So how do you sort of structure your day so you can deliver the most amount of value to your clients? And what does a sort of a typical day look like for you?
Typical day. I'm not sure there is a typical day. Every day is one of the things I love about this job is that every day is different. That you can go from advising to you can be with a immigration consultant, for example, or a law firm, and then be with a plumbing company or a powder coating company, or that's that's one of the great things about the job. But I suppose there are some common things. I generally have a calendar set up for the week, which I would have set up the previous week. Some of those appointments would have been made automatically, so they're on, they're every Tuesday at a certain time. But a lot of them, you have to sort of be a little bit flexible with your businesses. And because I have firm work, I do try and leave, where possible, a day free to do work for the firm, and that might be involved around sort of writing articles or a bit of marketing stuff. Yeah, the other thing is I normally get up pretty early in the morning, so first thing is have that coffee, and then go through the notes of the clients I'll be seeing for that particular day, just reminding me what we talked about last time. We have very good software. We have lists of all the tasks that we've set the business or they've set themselves. So just going through a little bit of that sort of stuff, and then generally I try to geographically also work clients together if possible. So if I'm seeing a client in Auckland, I'll try and maybe see if I can see two at the same time, ideally. I don't mean at the same time, but in the same, see two clients on the same day that are in the same place, and yeah, so and that's basically about it. I mean, obviously in between visits, you will still be having emails and phone calls occasionally, and also doing a little bit of, there might be a little bit of work that you're doing for the clients as well in between your sessions.
And obviously, in between all of that, you and Rob support the other advisors amazingly. I'm always impressed by the, what I see, how the other advisors are supported and helped through different transitions, and the conferences that are held biannually are just inspirational. So I take my hat off to you guys. It's a big job, but you do it extremely well.
Yeah, well, we operate more and more. We operate a system where the advisors in our business are also a big part of how we progress forward. They're a good sounding board for us. I mentioned that sounding board process. Well, they're a good sounding board for us, and so they're a big part of that, especially our leaders and the people that have been with us for a long time.
Moving forward, what do you how has your client acquisition process changed, and evolved as your time as a business advisor? Has it changed since the early days, and what's it sort of look like now?
Oh yeah, excuse me. It's changed a lot, because when you've built up a large client base, especially when a lot of them have been with you for a long time, most of your new clients will come through referrals. I mean, you'll always be doing a bit of project stuff and a bit of stuff that will, so there'll always be 30% of your business that will be changing. But you often fill those gaps with referrals that you're getting from your existing clients, or people that or people that know you. I mean, so part of the process in becoming a very successful advisor is actually, building a good reputation and having good results with your business owners, which then leads on to people referring you. And so that's the key difference probably between being an established advisor and being a brand new advisor, where you do have to go through the process of initially getting clients.
Okay. So what advice would you give to someone potentially watching this video who is interested in potentially becoming an advisor? What sort of advice would you give them about the industry and what the whole experience?
Well, the first thing I'd say is that it's a great business to be involved in. It's a very rewarding business, and it's a good lifestyle as well, so that's the first thing. I think the second thing I would say would be having confidence in your ability is really important, especially in the client acquisition stage. People will sense confidence in people, and if you project confidence, then people will have confidence in you. And I think also within a business like ours, don't try and reinvent the wheel. Look at the people who are successful and do what they do. Use the systems that are available. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. But it was one of the things that I did when I first was going through my training many years ago. I very quickly got myself alongside the most successful advisor in the company, and just listened and learned. And the thing is that often you're dealing with people that come into this business who have been successful in other fields, in a corporate, but that doesn't guarantee success in this business. And so learning from those who are successful and watching what they do and listening to them I think is really important. And you get that part right, like I said, it is a very enjoyable career to be involved in.
Okay. So BSP Advisory is currently, you're always looking for good people, I guess, aren't you? But you said at the moment there's a position in Canterbury, and is there one in Auckland too, did you mention? Or?
Yeah, we're currently looking for advisors in Canterbury to work alongside Rob in Canterbury, and also another advisor in Auckland would be great as well, and potentially a couple of other areas. But we're not. One of the big changes that we have made to our business is that we're very focused on having that quality team. It's not a numbers game for us. It's a matter of actually people that are genuinely interested in getting into this career, have got the right background, but also have got what it takes to run their own business, but be a part of a team. And so we don't look to try and put on 10 advisors all at once, because we can't support that. We're better off putting an advisor on here, getting them going, getting them started, getting them successful, and then and I think we're not perfect, but I think we're getting better and better at actually finding the right people. The two newest advisors we have at the moment have both been very successful. So, and fairly early on as well.
Okay, and probably this will be the last question. We'll wind it up. But what do you see the future being like in the business advisory space?
Well, there'll always be a need for business owners to have mentors or a sounding board, no matter what's happening in the economy, and that goes across all industries really. So in regards to our own business, I think in our own business, for advisors that are interested in maybe being involved with BSP, long term, I think this is probably a succession business where there's opportunity down the track to buy into the business and to buy shares into the business, if that's something that somebody would like. So that's probably, we obviously want to, we treat our business like any business, that we want to create more value within the business. We want to be able to create opportunity. The first thing is making sure our advisors are successful, but long term also opportunity to perhaps own part of the bigger business as well.
Great. Okay. Well, if anybody's watching this and they're interested, you can reach out and find us very easily. BSP Advisory, just Google that. There's many ways to contact us. But that's been awesome, Phil. It's been a really enlightening interview with you, and the opportunity is real, and it's very, very exciting. And I've worked with you guys now, I think it's probably 5 or 6 years, and it's a pleasure
At least.
at least,
At
yeah. And
least, I think so.
and I just love it when I particularly when I go and I see some of these clients have just gone from, reasonably sort of smallish businesses to substantial businesses, and still with the same advisor all those years later. And of course, working with myself, I do my best to help where I can. And yeah, it's really good. It's a fantastic
Yeah, you
business to be
probably
involved in.
get quite a unique perspective, because quite often you are working with those businesses in a different capacity, aren't you?
Yeah,
So
yeah, and it's I can count on one hand over all those years, where it's just been a bit of a struggle. But most of the people are just so nice. It's just such a great relationship, and the advisors do such a good job that I'm welcomed in there in the same capacity. So it's
yeah, well,
fantastic.
like I came from the agricultural industry, and I always found farmers inspirational. I find small business people inspirational. There's a lot of similarities, and they go through various struggles, but I find them very inspirational.
Hmm. Well, that's been fantastic. Okay, Phil, we'll wind it up there. So thank you for your time, and
No worries.
enjoy your weekend.
Okay, thanks, mate.
Okay,
Catch ya.
bye bye.